off. So side note, apparently when Drew was walking out, there was
all right, we're back.
Spotlight appeared on Uncle Howdy.
Supposedly, yep. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. I just saw the video of it. I mean, the shape looked like Uncle Howdy, so but then it could have just been a large man in the crowd who was just very disfigured.
Yeah, that would be insane. Like I said, it really wasn't that clear. Even in HD, it really wasn't that clear. Yeah. But I went back and looked for it, and I mean, you can see it. It's just like 2 or 3 frames that the thing goes over. But
yeah, I don't think it was good for like he's here kind of thing. It was just one of those.
It looked very ominous.
Glee. Yeah.
And it looking ominous was the reason that everybody was freaking out over it. But the thing is if you look at it, in my opinion, you can clearly see that it was, and pardon me for saying if this is offensive to anybody, but it was obviously a big-chested woman, like security guard woman. That's what it was. That's why it looked like she was wearing a black dress, because of the shadow from where the light was coming from. That's why you get the darkness. People were saying that you could see red, like she was holding a red purse, and that's the red. That's Bray Wyatt being the red in black and white, in a world of black and white, that kind of stuff. But the seats were red, if you look on later through the night. Right, so I don't...
There's a bunch of conspiracy.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's the thing. As this gets deeper, and we will talk a little bit about this later on. As it gets deeper, people are getting more and more paranoid in a way, looking for more things. And you guys have even noticed it with me. Every little thing that happens, I'm like, maybe this connects in some way. Like, y'all had to reel me in today about some stuff.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, you go tinfoil hat real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he popped it on. I was like, what? No.
I mean, he goes from talking about work to full-on conspiracy theorist. Goddamn, the moon landing was faked level at that point. It's just like that.
He said the lights went out, the fireflies came out, Jay's music's hit. Now Jay's a part of the Wyatt Six. Yeah, I doubt it. He said them his flies now.
He did say that. He should not have said that.
He did that. That was a real quote. So
yes, he did say that. Yes,
it is. So, we'll get more into the Drew segment here properly. So, Drew is gonna say that Punk didn't show up tonight because they're in Greenville, right? He doesn't go to low profile cities. He only goes to high profile cities. And he goes on to say the biggest trick that the devil ever played was making people believe that he didn't exist, and the biggest trick that Punk ever played is being able to pull off looking like a drug addict without ever actually doing any drugs.
Jesus.
He says that he can't believe that Punk tricked everyone into liking him, and that it's Punk who is actually hiding and running from Drew, but one day he will get his hands on him. He moves to talk about Jey for a little bit, and that Jey lost his match. And that Jey lost his match, and then he says that all he cares about is taking the title from the paper champion Damian Priest. But I think I must have misheard him, because Jey didn't lose his match. I think he said Jey is going to lose his match. By the way, because of WWE rules, Priest has to come out like you guys were talking about, and Damian says that Drew has a lot of issues and he needs to try something new, and he should say things to people's face. Drew says that he would, but Punk keeps hiding from him, and that he respects what Damian has done, but he simply doesn't deserve to be champion, and that the title needs Drew McIntyre in its early stages to make it actually mean something. Damian says that Drew needs to stop blaming everyone for his failures. He says that he needs to find a mirror, look into it, and then blame that asshole for everything that has happened. Damian says that it's Drew's fault that he had to cash in at Mania, because every other time he tried to cash in, Drew would ruin it in some way, shape, or form. He says that Drew could have left Mania and went and celebrated with his wife and went and had a good time, but he had to make it more about Punk. He had to make it more he had to make it more important than the title, his moment, and his wife. And Punk is intruding his brain. Damian says that he can have a shot at the title, presumably at King of the Ring. And says that Drew can call him a paper champion all he wants, but when they face off, he's going to make him eat those words. And yes, shout out to Mexican Ray. Thank you for the sub. We appreciate it. We do have a sub button now. Thanks to everybody last stream. We reached affiliate, so we appreciate everybody for the support, dropping in and joining the community and joining the conversation. Gentlemen, is it too early for them to be feeding Drew McIntyre to Damian Priest? Because they've got to be doing it at the King of the Ring, right?
Drew's still not cleared. I think it's not going to be King. This is setting up for SummerSlam.
Well, SummerSlam's going to be Punk and Drew, right?
No, I think Punk and Drew is going to be Clash at the Castle.
Okay.
They're going to take Drew back to his home country and have Punk, dip his balls on his chin. You know it's going to happen.
It's a possibility. It is a possibility.
I think it's definitely a setup for them to feed Drew to Damian, but I think you're looking at SummerSlam. I don't think you're looking any earlier than that. I think it's going to have some build. Punk's going to poke and prod and get in the way. And maybe they're setting up maybe they'll do it at Clash and save the Punk and Drew for SummerSlam, and he'll have Drew lose the match because of Punk's interference at Clash. But like I said, right now Drew's not cleared to wrestle, so
Clash at the Castle is Saturday, June 15th, and if I were a betting man, what I would say is going to happen is that we're going to see, I agree with you, because I forgot that Drew isn't cleared, so we won't see him at King of the Ring. I think that more than likely we will see him at Clash go for the title, because that's going to build that up, right? And then I think we see CM Punk screw him out of the title, and that's going to set up the match at SummerSlam. I think that's what we'll see, if I were a betting man. But it could go either way. I mean, honestly, they could do it either way, and it would sell big. I think that Drew is just a box office person, and yeah, I'm really glad he re-signed with the company. To be honest, his story is good, and hopefully he gets to finish his story. That was for G.
No, please don't. Just stop the stories. I'm tired of stories. Let's get to some fighting.
We got Iyo Sky versus Shayna Baszler. This is the quarterfinals now for the Queen of the Ring. This is the first match of the night. Luckily, they've gotten the hint, and they've stopped doing so long introductions, and they're getting to the fighting more quickly. I appreciate everybody for that. Rob Fee and Triple H, whoever else is doing that, whoever's behind that. But as far as the match is concerned, Baszler is going to get a sneak attack on Iyo out of the gate to start, and we're going to head to a commercial while the refs get everything under control. Now, when we come back from a commercial, we are going to get the match set up properly, but we're going to get a QR code. So, I'm not going to go into a huge thing about it, but I will say some footnotes on it. When you scan the QR code, you go to www.com/121212. Now, at first, what you would see is a page that says door, and then there's 20 photos. Those 20 photos are different clips out of notebooks and things like that. One's a picture of a mirror, one's a picture of a news reporter who had gone missing. The title in the editor or the author of that article is Wendy Lucho, which a lot of people have figured out is an anagram for Uncle Howdy. It talks about a lady who was missing And she was a therapist that did therapy sessions from her home. And then the very last picture, picture number 20, had basically it said 4/16/24 4 p.m. plus Witch, but everybody pretty much figured out that that was Twitch because WWE does have a Twitch account. Now, hidden in the source code, there was the word Centerman. If you looked up Centerman, it's a song by, I believe her name is Simone Naomi or something to that effect. I apologize for not actually knowing the name. But the thing is this talks about, this song says the word, it's Nina Simone. My apologies. This song talks about running a lot. It says the word The Rock, or the phrase The Rock a lot. Some people have speculated that maybe maybe they'll target The Rock when he comes back. I don't think that's the case. But it says the word run a lot, which that was Bray Wyatt's thing. He would say run. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't know is that Nina Simone, she sang a version of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, which is Bray Wyatt's song that he would have people sing. Outside of that, there were codes hidden inside of every other picture, the odd pictures. You know, there was a nod to 2 other YouTube podcasts, things you might have missed. In Wrestling Days, they've done a really good job at deciphering these videos. They've been on it immediately, quicker than I've been able to be on it. And then at 4 o'clock today, you got an hour-long video. It looked like they were about to show the bump, but instead, at about 4:01 p.m., it switches to the word hello, which is the very first clue we got during Big Bronson Reed's promo about 4 or 5 or 6 weeks ago. And then you get an hour-long therapy session, and you see where all those notes came from and all those kind of things. And then during that, you get all of these QR codes that go back to all of the old videos and pictures and things of that nature. And that's where I'm going to end it. It is very much deeper than that, but we just don't have the time to go through it. There's a couple people that literally have gone over this for like 2 hours deciphering everything that's inside of it. It's very deep. There are videos on YouTube. I have no problem linking the other great podcasters and people that have done the work, because I just wasn't able to. I just did not have the time. It was just great. Just fantastic work by WWE. Now, back onto the match. We did see a lot of spunk, I should say, out of Iyo in this match that we really didn't see from her in the last 2 matches. Like, she seemed to be like a new person in this match. Shayna will be dominant most of the match, and she's going to work Iyo's arm for most of the match. This is going to kind of take a turn about halfway through it, though, when Shayna's going to make a mistake. She goes to take Iyo to the top rope, and Iyo's going to reverse it, push Shayna off the top rope, and this is going to... and then we're going to end up getting a backflip from that middle rope to the outside floor before we go to that second commercial. Now, when we come back, we're going to see that Iyo is working the leg of Shayna, which Shayna hurt when she fell off that top turnbuckle. And Iyo will just go on a tear of offense using... they'll be using, like, bridge covers, STFs, over the moonsaults. She'll use the Meteor, which is her version of the double knees. So Iyo just starts beating the hell out of Shayna after this, her hurting her leg. Shayna's going to do her best to get the momentum back, but ultimately Iyo is going to show us why she's in this tournament. She's going to go over Shayna Baszler with the over the moonsault. After the match, Jackie's going to get in the ring and ask what we can expect from her next week, and she says something in Japanese. Gentlemen, what do y'all think about the match? I feel like Iyo brought a lot more intensity in this match.
It was Iyo's best match since she held the belt.
Mm-hmm. It was a very good match for Iyo. It really was.
Yeah, like there was some action. She pulled out some different moves that we haven't seen from her. It was fantastic. It was something we should have seen while she held the belt. I'm gonna keep elaborating on that because I feel like her belt run was squandered off of just running the storyline for Damage Control in general, and that's how I feel. But again, this was a solid match from Iyo. Very good quality, good performance from Shayna. Shayna
Baszler.
I mean, you know, I ain't gonna speak on it, but anyway, it was a good match. A really good match.
Hell yeah, I do agree. We got a lot of backstage segments tonight, which sometimes is cool, sometimes it's not. I do wish they would have focused more on in-ring stuff. But nonetheless, we're going to go to the back. We're going to see Carlito with the Judgment Day. We're going to begin this story throughout the night. Damian comes in while Carlito's speaking with the rest of the members, and he's upset by Carlito's presence. And Carlito says that Dom is injured, and he believes that he can be, that they can all mutually benefit each other from teaming up in different ways against Ray with the LWO, and then later on in the Fatal 4-Way. Now that wasn't announced yet, so he didn't mention it. But Damian says that it's fine if the boys want to work with him, but as far as Damian is concerned, Carlito isn't welcome. Carlito says he gets it, he doesn't trust him, and even though he figured that he would trust his team, Carlito believes that even the most stubborn minds can be changed. So you see, again, a little bit of a wedge being drawn in between Damian and the Judgment Day. We'll see Gunther getting ready for his match with Kofi, and we're going to move to Chad talking to Otis and Tozawa, saying he got them a couple matches. He says that Otis will be going against Sami Zayn and that Akira will be going against Big Bronson Reed. He tells them both not to do their normal goofy gimmicks, with Otis shaking his ass and doing the worm, and Akira doing the whatever he does, the truffle shuffle, is that what they call it? Yeah, that.
Yeah.
They walk off, and Ivy now walks up to Maxine and tells her that she doesn't have to put up with Chad's beratement and punishment. And Chad will come back into the frame and shoo off Maxine, tells her to go train or something, and then looks at Ivy now and says, "You know what? You actually have potential. But let me give you a piece of advice. You need to stop hanging out with Taylor Not So Swift." And then
that was really good.
Yeah, then we're gonna fade into Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and I only bring that up because Pat says one of the most funniest things I've heard on Raw, which he says that Chad sucks, and that if he doesn't see Otis's worm tonight, he's gonna be pissed. To which he actually had Michael rolling a couple times during the night.
Yeah. Now, my question on this, just I know Chad Gable they're going with the unhinged level on a lot of people. I mean, we saw unhinged at friggin' Drew McIntyre. Now we're seeing unhinged Chad Gable. What in the monkey paradise was he thinking putting Tozawa against Big Bronson Reed?
I don't know.
What exactly was Tozawa supposed to do?
I think that was a punishment match.
I mean,
don't you ever dance again. Are you gonna fight Bronson Reed every week?
I mean, God bless.
Hey, you know what?
Motherfucker, it took him longer to announce his name. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're right. You are right. But it was...
He had offense, though. He had offense.
Yes. And I say, and we're kind of ruining that part of the review because, man, I'm telling you what, that match is over quick. So it's like we just said everything that needs to be said about it.
I mean... Hey.
So, but again... we see we're still not getting to matches yet, so we're gonna see a trailer for Kofi Kingston. I just talked like I was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes just came out. Hold on.
Wow.
What happened, bro?
Jeez. Anyway, we got a trailer for Kofi Kingston, and Kathy asks Kofi how she's going to how he plans to beat Gunther, and if Kofi And Kofi says he's not going to do it for himself. It's about revenge for his boy. And Xavier then takes over and hypes his boy up and says that Kofi is going to show Gunther why New Day rocks. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. We're then going to go. This was weird to me. And I hope that you guys have a little insight on this. Maybe Dresh has some insight as he hobbles back to his chair. We then get Lillian Garcia out to announce Kofi Kingston. What was that all about?
So the story behind this is Lillian went to travel to visit family, was in the area. Triple H was like, you know what? Since you're here, we're gonna get you to the ring to do this announcement, and it's just something special with Samantha Irvin. That's all it was.
Okay.
It was one of those. Hey, you're here. We're gonna get you on real quick.
It was touching. It was weird, but it was touching.
Yeah. It was good to see Lillian.
It was, and I like the idea of the passing of the torch. You never got Howard Finkel passing the torch to Lillian that I remember. So, yeah.
Like how many? But legitimately, how many people remember Howard Finkel?
I love Howard Finkel.
I know you do, but how many people remember Howard Finkel over Lillian Garcia?
I mean, that is true. If you were, it depends on who you talk to, because everybody comes from a different era.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but we're still not gonna be at a match yet. So, R-Truth and Adam are in the back talking about who the tag team #1 contender should be. We then get the latest member of Raw to come in. What was her name, by the way, gentlemen? The call up from NXT.
That's how good of an impression she left on me.
It's Kiana something.
It is Kiana something.
Kiana James.
Kiana
James.
That's it.
James,
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew it was James, but I didn't know the first one. Okay, good. So yeah, Kiana James is going to come in to the scene, and she's going to talk about how excited she is to be a part of Raw. And Pierce says, if you ever need anything, do not hesitate to let him know. And she says, oh, I never hesitate. I just adjudicate. R-Truth goes, adjudicate? In the workplace? I don't even know if that's PG. Truth, the national treasure.
All right, you know what? Before we move on, what does adjudicate mean?
What are you talking about? You don't know?
No, what does it mean?
You don't know what it means?
He wants to know if you know.
Oh, I know. You don't know?
Well, obviously, Pat McAfee didn't know.
That's fair. But either way, I think G is frozen. Oh, he's gone. All right.
Yeah, he dropped again.
All right, so we lost G. So if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and turn off our name overlay here because no one wants to see names over our face. So G will be back. He just lost internet connection. We do apologize for that. But we're going to get into Kofi versus Gunther. People are going to think that I kicked him from the chat because I didn't know what adjudicate means. And he called me out on it.
You know, once again, this match, before you go through your inevitable play-by-play,
Sure.
I think it was a very good match. Anytime Gunther hits the mat, he's really good at, even if it should be just a complete squash, he makes it look like a king-level tactical square-off. We're going to beat the ever-loving hell out of each other before someone finally fails. I don't know. To me, the match itself played out very well. You know, Kofi was in there. Kofi did his thing. Kofi is a force to be reckoned with on his own. But I think Gunther, just to Gunther's credit, makes anybody he wrestles with look good.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, yeah, he is definitely people talk about like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of wrestler. And I feel like it's thrown around a lot now. There are a few that are literally once in a lifetime that you're not going to see people like that, and Gunther is actually one of them. He is able to put on a good match with probably anybody. He could get into the ring with me. He could get into the ring with you, and it would be a good match.
He'd make it look good.
He would make it look good. That's how good he is. So, G, we see you trying to talk, but I do not hear anything that you might be saying, and then you have no video, just so you know. Moving on, Kofi is going to attack Gunther before the match even starts, and he targets the leg out of revenge for Mr. Xavier Woods. The match will eventually actually get started properly, and a little after that, Gunther is just going to take over after they end up outside.
Kofi came in hot.
He did. Kofi came in hot, grabbed the leg, slammed it on the apron, gave him a piece of his mind, and I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. But Gunther is going to add that insult to injury. As he takes him to the announcer's table, he will force the Boston Crab onto Kofi on the announcer's table. Gunther in this match is going to pull out a little bit of new offense. I don't know if you noticed it, but he utilized a modified version of a surfboard stretch. He draped Kofi across his knees. Well, not his knees, but his shins. Reeled back and pulled the head and the legs of Kofi to get that stretch in there. And Kofi actually popped out of it to get a near fall, which just pissed Gunther off, and Gunther kicked him in the face.
Yeah.
Now, for the rest of the match, the two are going to go back and forth, and they're going to tease a count out at one point where Gunther will barely meet that count. This is going to lead to our finish where they get back in the where they're in the ring. They get to their feet. Kofi is going to go for a Trouble in Paradise, which Gunther is going to dodge. Gunther will then hit a power bomb for a near fall, and Kofi's going to try to pop himself out of it. But the second he pops out of it, Gunther grabs him, full Boston Crab. Kofi is forced to tap out. Kofi's story in the King of the Ring ends here, and Gunther will continue. This was the right decision, in my opinion. I think it told a good story about the New Day. It told a new story about them and, being friends and being there for each other. All of that good stuff. That both members of the New Day got to go against Gunther, and then Gunther takes his rightful place in the next part of the King of the Ring. You have any more? You have any more to add, my friend?
Not really. I like I said before, Kofi came in hot. Kofi was, like you said, he was going for revenge for his buddy. It was an amazing spot, an amazing match, in my opinion. I don't know if I'd give it, the mythical 5 stars, but about any time, they're in that ring, it looked good. I was happy with what I got, and that match I was happy with. We'll go with that.
Agreed. I haven't heard much from G since he bowed out the second time. I don't even see him on our chat anymore, so he might be MIA, man. But moving on, nonetheless, we get a reminder of Becky and Liv's conversation last week, as well as Damage Control and with Damage Control as well. Them getting in there, Liv backing out, Lyra coming out, and Jackie is in the back with Lyra to ask her why she helped Becky. Lyra says that it was a good way for her to make an impact early on, and that Damage Control needs to get used to her. And she says that she's always there for Becky to help a fellow Irish woman. Becky comes up and thanks her and tells her to crush it in her match tonight. As Becky walks away, Jackie's going to try to ask another question to Lyra, but Liv walks up and congratulates her for being on Raw and asks Lyra if Becky has always been a bitch. Becky then walks up behind Liv, and Lyra tells her, well, why don't you ask her yourself? Now, when she turns around, Becky's going to give her a weak right hand, and Liv is going to sell this like she just got hit with a sack of potatoes. Falls on the ground, and Becky says, I'm not the one afraid of a fair fight, bitch. And walks off. And I got to be honest, I'm excited for this match.
Oh, yeah. G, you're trying to talk, but ain't getting none. No, I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. I I think it is going to be one of the better matches that we come up with on this one.
Welcome back.
Yeah, Discord took a crap, so. All right, guys.
Hey, we are plagued with problems tonight, but we are here, and we are for the people, and we're knocking it out. G, you went out right with Kofi and Gunther. I will ask real quick, do you have any thoughts on the Kofi and Gunther match, or do you have any thoughts on Becky versus Liv and their segment with Lyra? Do you have any thoughts or comments on those?
The Gunther versus Kofi match was actually really good, I thought. We all knew who was going to win. Well, you know what? There was a time point where I was like, Kofi might actually win this. It was the Lulu kicking in. But it was overall still a good match. Kofi had his spots. Gunther always makes a match look fantastic for some reason. I think he needs a higher role right now. But, yeah. And as far as Becky and, Valkyria and Liv, it was a segment, it was kind of weird how Becky went off the frame this way and then kind of just came back around. Like, where did she disappear to? She just walk around the camera. Is that what they're doing?
I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, no, she walked this way and she showed up this way. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's again, this is just nitpicking.
Yeah.
On the little camera work. It's more of a, hey, just have it come back in frame this way. It makes it more believable than, oh, yeah, well, you did ask and she's behind you. How the heck? Is she a part of the Uncle Howdy shit now? Is that what's going on?
According to him, everything's part of the Uncle Howdy shit right now.
Everything.
Yeah.
There was a duck outside his window that was somehow connected to it.
That motherfucker said Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy's been trying to talk to me. Now, I want to ask you gentlemen this, and I want to ask the people viewing right now as well. Somebody give me a thought of what was going on with Kofi walking through the back and Karrion Kross confronting Kofi and saying, you had a tough loss, but not to worry because there's always time to turn things around. As Xavier walks up, Karrion walks away, and he says, what was that about? What did he want? Kofi says, I don't know. What the hell is that about? Is this a match or is this a new team?
I think Karrion may be trying to either get in people's heads or recruit people to join, that stable is his, because it was weird. It was just random.
Yep, I agree. What did it make you think about, Dresh? You think we got something coming?
I think he's just trying to get inside people's heads. I don't think we got anything big coming down for him yet. They hadn't really used him in much.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to get past this swing. I don't know. I'd say I think we're going to need to get past this swing where their PLEs are out of the country so they can consistently work stories. But I think the next 3 are out of the country. So after this, so
Fair enough.
I don't have a clue on this one. This one, it doesn't resonate to me and say, hey, it's going to be this. That I'm not seeing that. So
yeah, I love when WWE does things that's not extremely obvious. So I'm here for it. Whatever the hell it is, I'm sure it's just going to turn into a feud. But whatever the hell it is, I'm here for it. Now we're going to get into the best match of the night by.
Well, I mean, wasn't just throwing out there.
Sure.
Weren't they still doing the Karrion Kross Bobby Lashley thing?
That kind of died out when they switched brands.
Yeah, it's dead now.
I was gonna say because with Bobby Lashley out, then maybe they're just trying to find something for Karrion to bash his head against.
And the weird thing is, Karrion's group, they attacked who was it? New Catch Republic.
Yeah,
they attacked them when they first got on Raw. So I mean, I think they're just trying to find something that sticks in. And New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, it might stick. I'm gonna need Big E to come back as a somebody who talks to something, man. I miss Big E.
Yeah, he needs to be. Yeah, he needs something.
Yeah, we need to do more with Big E than they do. I mean, he pops up for PLEs, but
yeah,
I'd like to see him do guest spots as an announcer on Raw or SmackDown. Hell, have him come back as somebody's manager. That way he doesn't have to actually wrestle.
Yeah.
Right.
I get it. He's probably never going to come back to main roster with the weirdly done vertebrae because it didn't harden or some shit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to see him back in.
Yeah. Nice.
But going back to Karrion, he did promise chaos, and going after New Catch and then going after, potentially the New Day and all this stuff. It's creating chaos.
He's going after new stuff. If you didn't catch it.
Yeah, he's creating chaos, creating uncertainty, going after new things. So yeah. Now again, like I said, we're gonna get into by many people's accounts the best match of the night: Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa, ladies and gentlemen.
And you've just talked longer than the match lasted.
That is true.
Kind
Basically, what happened is Akira comes out the gate, fierce as hell, actually gets some good licks on Tozawa on Bronson Reed, but the second he rips the shirt, he gets a Death Valley driver and a tsunami, and he died. I think he's dead.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll find out next week. But
no, he's alive. He was doing his dance. Just slowly curled up into a ball. He was like, ah.
Obviously, Chad, very upset by this, comes in and verbally berates him, verbally abuses him. We're going to fade into Kathy Kelly in the back. She's going to ask Ludwig about Dragonuv and Gunther, and Ludwig says that Gunther doesn't have to prove anything to anyone and that he's the ring general, and then he goes on a rant about how he saved Sheamus, and that if anyone has a problem with that, including Sheamus, he will be ending Sheamus and exposing him. So obviously we're going to do this match. I get how it ties in. I understand. But I halfway expected Ludwig to show up, number one. And, or not Ludwig, but Sheamus to show up, number one. And number two, I think Kathy Kelly did a great job with her facial expressions in this, because she actually looked terrified and angry. And then number three, they really pushed this whole Dragonuv is going to win and Jey doesn't have a chance kind of situation throughout the night, if you guys recognize that.
Oh, you want me to be honest?
Sure, please do.
The walk-ins. The walk-ins, you knew Jey was going to win. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Jey had his kid with him.
Did he?
Yes.
I missed that part. To be
Jey
honest,
had
I was
his
watching,
kid with him.
To be honest,
That's
I was
how you
watching
know
Raw
he was
late,
going to
so I
win.
skipped the intros.
They're not going to throw fucking Jey's kid in the picture at the event, just so Jey can get his ass kicked.
Fair enough. Well, they did it to Chad.
Yeah.
Well, he
Chad
lost
angry as
because of
hell
power
now.
of positivity. He lost because of power of positivity. That's why he lost.
That's fair. But I should say, got more tinfoil hats coming on real quick. People say that Nikki Cross was in the background here. She wasn't. I'm sorry. Look, she wasn't. Look, they did play the song during Raw, and they played it longer and all of this stuff. They played Nightbird, but no, like it was not Nikki in the background. I know Nikki's face. That was not Nikki's face. As a matter of fact, right before the camera cut, she looked at the camera. Was not Nikki. 100% not Nikki.
I mean, how you know? We haven't seen Nikki in months.
Unless someone gave her a new nose, it wasn't Nikki.
Hey, it's possible. Shit.
I mean, they were doing that back in the 80s, so.
That's fair. You know what?
Motherfuckers got money now, so we don't know what they do.
You know what? That is fair. That is fair. So, we're going to move into more. I really wish we had more wrestling to talk about, but we're going to move into more background shenanigans. Jackie is in the back with Adam Pearce to get the announcement for the WWE Tag Team #1 contender spot. He announces a fatal 4-way match between the Judgment Day, that's Finn and big-headed JD, New Catch Republic, the Creed brothers, in the New Testament, which is really just AOP. She then asks why Braun Breaker was not a part of the King of the Ring. And Adam is going to say, you know what, I know everybody wanted him in there, but I really didn't want to throw him in the deep end with all the big fish or whatever. And Braun's going to come into frame. And he says, I wouldn't have been in the deep end with them. They would have been in the deep end with me. And I would have done circles around them, and I would have smiled as I pulled them in. He turns around to walk away, and he says, I should have been in the damn tournament. I'm going to say this. WWE, for me, has about 2 weeks to fix whatever they're doing with Braun Breaker. And then I've lost interest until he starts doing something. And it's not Braun's fault. They're just not doing anything with him.
They're giving him like squash matches, and then they're just appearance here, appearance there, squash match.
Yeah.
Nothing interesting.
And here's the thing. He right now I'm thinking he should have stayed on SmackDown because everybody else is way in their feud, and he could. And I understand that we're bringing up more stuff if we would have left him on SmackDown, but because my first thought is put him in a program with Carmelo Hayes or put him in a program with even his former tag partner Baron Corbin. Like there are people, man.
They had something. They could do many things with him over in SmackDown. There's not much going on there, Raw, because everybody's kind of in their own shit. Yeah,
and I feel like what's going to happen with him, I would go out on a limb and say the predictable element for him is that he either goes against Jey or Dragunov. Maybe Gunther.
I wouldn't be mad at the last two.
Yeah. But the problem
with Squirrel says he's getting a belt soon. I don't see him. I mean, I don't see him doing that, Squirrels. I'm sorry. I don't think they're building enough with him yet. Squirrel says he thinks he'll have a belt soon.
The only belt for him to get really is Sami's.
He get the speed belt, maybe.
I mean, he could. You know what? He could get the speed belt. I can see that.
Sam's wearing it at Sam's wearing it ringside right now.
Yeah, Josh is looking at Sam wearing it at ringside too. Like, you wear that belt.
Ricochet brought it home. She went, "Nah, bitch, that's mine."
That's funny.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
I wish they would do more with Braun because it just seems like they're wasting him.
I agree.
Like, it feels like Goldberg, but actually with a decent wrestler. That's what it feels like, you know. They're doing him Goldberg style with the actually good wrestler.
Yep. I should say, by the way, that first of all, again, Braun, fantastic. Braun Breaker is amazing. We have a lot of Brauns though. We have Bronson Reed, we have Braun Breaker, we have Braun Strowman, and they're all on fucking Raw.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a trio. That's gonna happen. Anyway,
the Bronze.
The Bronze
League.
I should mention after this, Pat McAfee is Braun Breaker's biggest fan. Because, and I gotta admit, I like doing it too, but as soon as we get done with this little backstage segment, we hear, who? And Pat is just endlessly doing this to the point to where Michael can't even talk. And Michael has to talk over him while he's doing it. And Michael's breaking character the entire time as well. So
side note, Pat tweeted that Braun should have been in the tournament, and he said some stuff, and then apparently Adam Pearce tweeted back, "You need to be in my office during the break, or meet me in the office during the break," which is wild. I'm like, yo, so he got in trouble.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Daddy Pierce had to punish him.
Hey. Hey, it is what it is. You got to put your foot down sometime, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into our next match. Zoey Stark versus Lyra Valkyria. So there's a bit of a botch at the beginning of this match as they head outside. Right? It looked as if Lyra was supposed to do some kind of springboard move to Zoey on the outside, but when Zoey wasn't in what I presume to be her right spot, Lyra actually looked at her and said, "What are you doing?" Like, literally, Zoey turned around and Lyra was like, "What are you doing?" Like, and there's no way around that. Like, I feel like Zoey just wasn't in the right spot, and she was supposed to take some kind of move, because you can see Lyra getting ready to do a springboard, and then she looks behind to check if she's there, and then she stops. She's like, what?
Yeah, like, I ain't gonna lie, Zoey looked off that match. Maybe it was just me, but like that spot, and there was a couple other spots where it was just like that looked awkward, you know? She looked off. You know? I don't know what's going on. Like, hopefully she gets it together, but yeah, she did not look great in this match whatsoever. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't her best performance. But I mean, even though they had that little bit of a botch, they brought it back. Lyra did still do like an awkward jump down to the floor. Like, you could tell that she was like, "I'm not doing the apron spot." Like, she kicked her in the head, and Zoey turned around again, and then you could tell that Lyra was like, "All right, on our feet." Jumps down.
Yep.
You know, and then she takes a clothesline from Zoey, and we kind of go from there. It looked like she tweaked her leg a little bit when she jumped down, but it looks like that was either a part of it or it was an accident. Now, the reason that my evidence for it being a part of it, or just something that maybe off the springboard she was supposed to hurt her leg or something, and the reason I would say that is because a couple times during the match it did appear as if Lyra was trying to get Zoey to work the leg a couple times. Like, sometimes I think that WWE tells their wrestlers, "Hey, tonight we're going with this theme." And tonight's theme would have been pick a limb and work it. Because in almost every single match that didn't end in less than 2 minutes, you picked a limb and you worked it. And that doesn't happen every single week. So, I don't know, I thought that was interesting. Either way, Zoey did not pick a limb, did not work the limb. Even though, like I said, Lyra was trying to give it to her. Zoey's going to ultimately go for the Z360. Lyra's going to counter and hit the Nightwing to progress one step further in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And Jackie's going to get into the ring to congratulate Lyra and ask her if she has any words for Iyo Sky. She then says something in the Celtic language, and then says that she's Lyra Valkyria, the NXT Women's Champ, and she's here to stay. She'll be the new Queen of the Ring. G, you said that you don't believe it was Zoey's best match. I tend to agree. Dresh, how are you feeling about the match?
You know, I actually wanted Zoey to win that one. I've said I'm happy to be a Lyra fan. I like everything about Lyra since she's come in, but I kind of wanted to see Zoey win that one. Zoey did feel off in it. I don't know. I don't think Lyra was much help to her either, because she was... I don't know if she was telegraphing something she wasn't supposed to, or if, Zoey was just completely out in left field. Either way, the match just didn't feel glorious.
Honestly, it felt like Zoey was just out in left field.
For a quarterfinal match in the Queen of the Ring tournament, I could have been playing Call of Duty. I didn't care.
Wow.
Damn.
It's rough. It's rough. Speaking of which, Hanji Manji, just a quick plug for you, man. I heard you got 2 dubs on your stream last night on Call of Duty.
That I did. Did you 2 dubs.
You get that posted up yet?
No, but the video will be up at least by Friday. It will be up by Friday. Check it out. You can still check it out on Twitch. It's literally the first 40 minutes of the video. So, but
you ain't gotta watch the rest
of
the
real video.
It's funny.
Tough.
Yeah, Hanji Manji, y'all. He has his own Twitch channel. He does YouTube stuff. He's legit. He's legit. He carries us most of the time. Unless we're playing Halo, in which I carry, but we don't play Halo anymore.
Thank God.
Yeah. Look. Back to the action, my friends. We're then gonna get a trailer for Jey and Dragonuv, and Jey is in the back and says that everyone is going to get a yeet down, and that he's gonna become king of the ring. That's basically what happens. He says more than that, but he's just hyping himself up.
I don't know what that means. I don't want to go get a yeet down.
Yeah, he was just yeeting himself off in the back. That's all it was.
Oof. Stop eating himself.
So,
should be a crime.
We're now going to go to the second best match of the evening, and that is Sami Zayn versus Otis. So, Otis... It's the second time Dress fell asleep. Otis gets a quick upper hand and starts to hip gyrate. Much to Chad's dismay, because that's directly against what Chad said that he was allowed to do. Chad's going to get on the apron and try to stop him from doing the worm, but Otis decides ultimately that he's not going to listen to him. He does it anyway. He tears off his shirt, and he hits the worm. So once he connects with it, he gets up and... What's that?
I said it was a nice elbow. I ain't gonna lie.
It's one of the best elbows in the game right now.
Yeah, the elbow was nice. Shit. Fuck all the dancing. Let him dance. If he hits that elbow every time, cool.
So you ever been slapped with 1,000 steaks? See, Chad hasn't. He don't understand. That's like getting slapped with 1,000 steaks at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So once he connects with this worm, Chad is going to get on the apron and protest, and he says, "Stop goofing around and go to the top, or go to the ropes and go to your finish." He's going to get on the second ropes. He's going to go for his splash, and he's going to miss, and Sami is going to go for the haluva kick after that and win. Boom.
Power of fucking positivity.
Power of positivity.
He should have been out. He should have been out with the elbow, or at least somewhat damaged.
Yep.
He was out with the elbow. But when you let Chad Gable sit there and bitch at you for 37 minutes, like, I don't know how he got to hit the fucking worm in the elbow, because Chad talked to him for like 3 fucking minutes.
That he did.
Sami had time to sit there and suck down a soda and get back up, and he didn't move. Much to his credit, he didn't move.
Well,
so
either way.
When he doesn't move, he builds his positivity up. He's like, you know what? I need to maintain. It's like a spirit bomb. He just sleeps. He's like, all right, positivity building up. Even the elbow didn't damage it. The elbow did nothing. The elbow did nothing. The only reason I'm so upset about this, because I'm tired of the shit.
The elbow did plenty. But Chad Gable sat there and talked for 4 minutes after the elbow.
I could care less. Sami was getting his ass kicked.
Mike Tyson could put you unconscious and then sit there and talk for 4 minutes and you'd get back up. This is what happened.
I ain't hitting no haluva kick. Sami was getting his ass handed to him.
What else is new?
Otis. Tired of it. Fuck it. Somebody take the belt off of him.
Look.
If you're going to win with power and positivity, get the fuck out of here.
Look, hopefully Squirrels is right. Hopefully it ends up being Braun. I would love that. But Sami Zayn, the only man that can take the large worm and just win 5 seconds later. Tell you what.
It was like 4 minutes.
Either way, after the match, Chad's going to get in and verbally abuse Otis. Sami's had enough of it. He gets in the ring. Chad charges him, but he's going to get an exploder for his efforts. Chad is going to duck out of the way, though, when Sami goes for the haluva kick. And then he will verbally attack and then slap Otis on the outside after Otis comes and picks him up. He blames Otis for what happens. says it's his fault, slaps him, starts to walk away. Otis looks down, very sad. The crowd starts chanting for Otis. But ultimately, the defeated Otis is going to turn around and slowly follow his master to the back. While Pat McAfee is yelling, "You're better than him, Otis. You are better than him."
And Otis is going to turn on that motherfucker.
Oh, it's going to be
It's going to happen when he can hit him with a worm.
Mm-hmm.
Otis is going to hit him with the worm, and then Tozawa is going to stand over his head and do his little dance.
Do the dance.
And Maxine's going to kick him in the nuts for good measure.
Jeez. She'll probably do the girl worm, whatever that is. Caterpillar. No, not the caterpillar. He calls it the caterpillar.
Stop.
I can't remember what she calls it. Either way, the Creed brothers, Braun Strowman and Ivy Nile, are in the back, and Strowman is hyping them up for their match. JD walks up to Strowman and says that he doesn't appreciate Braun getting in the Judgment Day's business, so now he's here on official Judgment Day business. And Braun says, "So? All right." And JD replies, he goes, "So? You've been warned." And he turns around and he just walks away. What the hell? What did him getting punched in the face with them rings do to him? Because that's the dumbest thing.
I don't know. I just noticed he legit does look like a human Funko Pop, and it pisses me off. Yeah, he legit looks like one. Like big ass head, little arms, little legs, little body. Just
that was one of the best hits that Michael Cole has had in a long time.
Oh my god.
Well, but it was facts though. That's the fucking bad thing about it. It's fact. He looks like a human Funko Pop. He is useless. I'm sorry. He's useless.
I mean, honestly,
like, you've been warned. I'm a headbutt you. Okay.
Honestly, if you can send JD to do things like go talk to Braun Strowman and he'll foolishly go do it, I'd say we found his use. He's the one who's going to get his ass kicked by giants.
All right. Well, yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Gee, I know for a fact you 6'8", and I don't think you're going to go up to Braun Strowman mouthing off to him for no reason. Like,
fuck no. Nah. It had to be for a good ass reason.
That's what I'm saying. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now we're going to get to a match that kind of confused me a little bit, even though I understand how it makes sense in the story, but it still kind of confused me. Dakota Kai versus Becky Lynch.
Stupid.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So I have a few notes on it.
Next match.
What?
He said, fuck going over. He said next match. It's stupid. Like,
So, okay. Alright. So, the match was dull. Especially, and it was just weird considering that Becky's the champ, and I just kind of expected more out of it. It was a story about strength and numbers, basically. And the match breaks down into chaos after Becky hits a superplex and then moves to hit the disarmer. The second she locks that disarmer in, Damage Control comes in, ends the match in a disqualification. They get a little bit of a beatdown in before Lyra comes out to break it up. They exchange, or that exchange will end with Iyo and Lyra facing off, and Lyra will duck the clothesline from Lyra, but Becky will hit her clothesline after Iyo pops up from the one that she just dodged. They think they can celebrate for a moment, they, meaning Lyra and Becky, but Liv is going to come out of nowhere and throw Becky into the ring post. Lyra is going to kind of like slowly walk to Liv, like what the hell's going on, and Liv is just going to duck under the ring, and that's going to be that's the match. The match was a good 10-minute match, but I mean it was just it wasn't crazy good. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say when Liv tossed Becky into the ring post, it sounded like the Liberty Bell last time it was rung. Like, she actually tossed her ass into that ring post. I think legitimately when she was laying on the fucking mats unconscious, she might actually have been unconscious.
And I think that's why Valkyria was walking up the lift like, yo, what the fuck?
She did. She thonged off of that fucking thing, dude. Yeah, it was rough.
It's like, was this a receipt for something? Like Valkyria was just questioning shit all night. Like, between her match, between what Liv did, it was just a whole bunch of question marks. Like,
Liv had nothing to say. Yeah. I mean, I get what she's doing with it. I get the brutality and all that, but I don't know if that was a purposeful thong, if somebody missed, or if it was a receipt for something, because that was rough.
Indeed. Man. Yeah, I wanted more out of the match. I will say that I love what Liv is doing right now.
Being a slut.
I love her revenge tour. Why? What you got against blonde women? Why? Every blonde woman that comes out and does some good things, you're like, I don't like her. She a slut. Like, why? What's wrong, man?
Whoa.
Did a blonde lady hurt you? Did a 5-foot blonde woman hurt you at some point?
Yeah, I'm living with it. No.
I was gonna say he's about to get jumped.
The only reason I say that is because
it's like, what's that moving over your shoulder, cheat?
So here's my thing. There's speculation that it's not Dom that's being in the thing with Liv, that it's Finn.
Motherfucker. The ghost of Eddie Guerrero is definitely messing with her.
Yeah, I still think it's Dom. Because Dom's the one going off and he's talking to other wrestlers with no knowledge from the rest of the Judgment Day. Right,
but that's cool. But you know, what's Finn doing? Finn just chilling with JD in the locker room the entire time. Fuck
yeah.
No. Who wants to spend time with JD? That motherfucker is there with Liv.
They both are jokes. So now.
Yeah.
No, come on, don't do that to Finn. No, don't do that to Finn.
No.
That's what they usually do, man. They usually do a joke.
Jeez, but no. Also, they were saying that Finn's handkerchief was missing. Dom still had his, but Finn is missing his.
Interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah. Just theories out there.
Okay. So we're gonna move on real quick to Jackie in the back with Dragonuv and ask what they can expect from him in this match tonight. And Dragonuv says that he is a different kind of dragon and a different kind of person because he beat Gunther. He says that his goal is to be the best and bring great matches night in and night out, and Gunther is going to step up to Dragonuv during this interview, and they will look at each other intensely as Gunther will walk away, and we will fade into our next match. Just more hype, just more WWE working a swerve. Everybody by now knows who won, so very interesting. Very, very interesting. Either way, we're going to get into this number one contenders match. The Judgment Day, Finn and JD versus the Creed Brothers versus New Catch Republic versus the AOP. And the great thing about this match, in my opinion, is that every team got to show off their abilities. And what I mean by that is that they got to show off like their niche style of wrestling. For example, Creed Brothers, they're using their amateur style. New Catch Republic is using the UK strong style mixed with the joint manipulation. AOP is using their strength and their strong like teamsmanship. Finn and JD got to show off that they're willing to do anything it takes to win using their cunning and heel tactics. No group was really left out of the match. The finish is, this is long and convoluted, but the finish is the Creed Brothers going for the Brutus Ball, to the double power bomb by AOP, to New Catch Republic trying to get involved but getting thrown out by Akeem. Brutus will then hit the Brutus Ball from the top rope to the outside of the ring. But before that happened, Tyler Bate will tag himself in by tagging Brutus before Brutus jumps off. He's going to pick Akeem up, do the helicopter, and then Balor's going to roll up Tyler Bate for a near fall. Bate's going to kick out. Pete Dunne will get the tag in. They will hit the Birminghammer for a near fall. They work to the outside. Dunne will be working JD on the announcer's table, but Carlito will hit the backstabber on Pete Dunne. which JD will then roll Pete into the ring, where Finn with the coup de grace to become your number 1 tag team championship contenders. Now, this was the wrong decision in my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I'm going to say that spot with Carlito, he knew that shit was stupid. He looked around, he was like, do I really got to do this shit? Because why would he do a backstabber through the table? That makes no sense. He's taking an L on that. It doesn't help him at all. If anything, it helps the person he's doing it to. That motherfucker looked down like 3 times. He said, I gotta do this shit. It was stupid.
I think they planned it, and when he got up there, he was like, wait a minute, I'm about to put myself through a table. Like, I think that
this is stupid. Oh, wait a minute, this is not cool. This is stupid.
That's racist.
Like, it's stupid. Why would he do a backstabber through a table? That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, but your impression was racist as hell.
That was my impression.
He did one too.
But he does say this is not cool. He does say that. Because this table is not cool.
Just like I haven't been here, I wasn't here for that match. That match, I was so pissed off by them giving that to the Judgment. I don't care if it is moving the Carlito portion of the story along, because he got props from Damian from it and all that. I get that. But turning them into the number 1 contender, are you trying to turn the Awesome Truth into more of a joke than they already are?
Well, I think they're just trying to bring back that rivalry with our truth and the Judgment Day. So I think that's what they're gonna eventually do. But again, you're right. It was a dumb way to end the match.
Well, Triple H will learn eventually that you have to stop going to the well, because I do notice that he's going back to the well with multiple feuds. He's like, oh, this feud worked before WrestleMania. Let's give it a shot, and he's kind of trying to revisit it.
I mean, why don't we pull out the Creed brothers, or one of those that haven't had as big of a chance?
I would not be mad at the Creed brothers.
Granted, they're billing JD McDumbass and Finn as the new Judgment Day tag team. I get that. Again, it's a new story, but the Judgment Day is established. Mm-hmm. We don't give a fuck.
JD McDonough is the tag team.
Let's see the Creed brothers. Let's see more of them. We've talked about them before. We all want to see more of them.
That's why I wore the gray today. Because I wanted the Creed brothers to win, and I was actually upset that they didn't win.
Even if they're going to drop it, and it's just going to be they're feeding them to the Awesome Truth to keep it on them, fine. But they get that title shot. It gives them, puts their name out there more, brings them more into the realm of relevancy. The island of relevancy, someone would say, and keeps us seeing them, because I like watching them wrestle. They have a great style. They're entertaining to watch. We just need to actually make use of them.
Yeah, but they don't have a story to them, so I think that's why WWE.
But you could make it a story.
Yeah,
you could.
You could make a story right here by making them that number 1 contender. Instead of the fucking Judgment Day.
Yep.
You could have made a story.
You don't need a story for King of the Ring. Feed them to Awesome Truth. Let them show off how good they are. Like that was my thought. And I honestly thought that the Creed brothers were going to get it. I thought it was going to be a random win. Feed it to the Awesome Truth, and then we go on to another program. I mean, G, let me ask you, who would you have wanted to win? If not the Judgment Day, who would you have chosen?
It would have been either the Creed brothers or New Catch Republic. I just like New Catch Republic. Like that's my.
New Catch is another one. The Creed brothers I really like. New Catch, I feel they've had a little bit more time in the sun. They need more, but they've had a little bit more than the Creed brothers have. I'd like sprinkle the love around.
I would have been fine with AOP, because you know what? That would have made sense. They're a fucking monster ass team. Yep. Why wouldn't they destroy everybody in their tag match?
I mean, you're right.
AOP would have been a good one too. Yeah.
And then they go and destroy the Awesome Truth, and now you got tag champions.
Well,
they put the gold on a different group.
To be honest with you, the only people in that match I didn't want to see win it was JD and Finn. It's not even that it's Judgment Day. It's that it's JD and Finn.
Yep.
I don't mind Finn. I don't mind.
I don't mind Finn. When Finn is Finn, like when Finn is the demon, I like Finn. When Finn is whatever the fuck he is right now,
I don't think we're getting that back anytime soon.
He hasn't been the demon in like fucking 3 years or something like that.
He doesn't need to technically. It's not so much the demon. It's just his wrestling is better when he's in that than what he is now. I don't care if he doesn't go back to the demon, but reinvent your character so it's not a prison bitch.
Is that a Jade Cargill shirt?
It is. It's been on the whole night. Have you not noticed it?
God dang it.
This is not the first time he's wore it.
It is not the first time I've wore it.
I've never seen it. I need to get myself a Tiffy Time shirt.
You do that? Shit, it might be on sale now.
That's fair. We'll get into that news in a second. That's fair. That's fair.
But no, I don't have a problem with Finn. I want them to get out of this Finn the prison bitch stage where he's actually goes back to being a decent wrestler.
A leader.
JD McDonough, I could give a fuck if he fell off a cliff.
Damn.
But Finn, I like the old Finn. I like that. I don't like what they're using him as now.
That's fair.
I don't know. I mean, it's like you said, just do something else, you know? Because Finn right now, it's a bore. It's he has a spot and then he's just there. But again, I know Finn doesn't care to be in the spotlight. That's cool, but like he legit said this himself. He does not care that he's in the spotlight. He just wants to have fun and shit. Still, do something with his character. Do something. Something else.
If you're gonna put him in a spotlight group, don't make him the fucking joke of the group.
Oh no, that's JD. That's 100% JD.
And the ghost of Eddie Guerrero.
He's getting better, honestly. Like, he's getting better.
He looks more like Eddie Guerrero every day. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for. He is Eddie's spawn.
I love everything about that, though. I will be honest.
Yeah.
So
the mullet, the attitude,
that fucking mustache.
Now, if he gets the La Cheese Still music behind him, I'm like, bet. I'm behind that 100%.
So yeah, definitely need, in my opinion, and I think in all of our opinions, we definitely need a bigger shakeup inside the tag team division. I think we'll get it after King of the Ring. I like to try to be more positive about WWE, especially since he who shall not be named has left. But we'll see.
Got no chance.
Have a good tag team division? No chance. So
that's what you got.
Respect for women and their titles? No chance, motherfucker. Damn. No, but after this match, after the Judgment Day win this match, we're gonna go back to Ricochet. He goes to the back and he says, "Good luck to Dragonuv." And then right before the match with Jey Uso and Dragonuv, we have Carlito in the back with Judgment Day and Damien, and well, Damien basically says, you know, it's basically like a thank you, but don't screw this up, you know, that kind of situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a
and then hits him with the the Judgment Day doesn't deal with cowards.
Yep. So handle that business with Ray.
Yeah.
Which is fair. Handle your business.
That ain't fair. Have they watched what What? Dominic's the biggest coward out of all of them. JD's got more balls than Dom. He at least went up to Braun Strowman.
But Dom has handled his business. He fought his dad. He won. Twice, I think.
That's fair.
Fair. So he's handled his business. He's handling business with Liv and Rhea at the same time. So man's handling business. I don't know.
You know what? Fair enough. I'll give it to you. I'll give that to you. But let's get into our last match real quick, and then we're going to get into a little bit of news. I think we all got a little something.
Before we go to this,
yes.
At the end of the actual tag team match, did you catch where Michael Cole says, you know, hey, in our next match they're talking, I think he called him the Yeetmeister. He's talking about Jey Uso. And fucking Pat I swear to God, the man is stoned every time he goes on air, period. Because the second Michael Cole mentions Jey.
Yep.
Calm the fucking music hasn't even started. Calm down.
Yep. Pat is the ultimate hype man. As a matter of fact, I would pay money to get Pat on this podcast for 10 seconds. Well, he could do or say whatever he wants to do for 10 seconds. That's fine. And then he leaves. I would pay money for that.
I mean, and that's not the question. Would Jey have this much hype without Pat?
I don't know. You know what? I think Pat makes a big bit of it. I really do.
Because I thought about it. I was like, everybody was doing the yeet and it lasted a while, but Pat just enhanced that shit.
I'll say Pat stands on the fucking desk.
Right.
He yells at people that aren't eating.
Right. So does Jey have this hype without Pat, though?
I mean, on air, it seems that yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows? Why you ask this question, G-Money?
I'm just asking questions and taking statements and, I'm getting info. I'm gathering the information. I'm deducing some things. That's all.
Interesting.
My question is, why the hell is Triple H going back to the bag of tricks on this one? Anyway, talk about a match. We'll talk about that when it's over.
Fair enough. So
I'm actually mad at this match.
So Jey Uso and Dragonuv. Couple things that I do want to say about it. H-bomb on the announcer's table, pretty dope. Even though it missed.
He missed.
It missed.
Crazy. Still crazy.
Still fucking wild. However, I do believe that Jey kind of buries the H-bomb in this match a little bit. Like, he took an H-bomb and then won the match like 3 seconds later. So I don't believe that aspect of it was necessarily good. I think that Dragonuv, in a sense, got a little bit buried. But, like, I mean, even at the end of the match, Jey hits the spear, he hits the splash, 1, 2, 3. Notice that while you did see most of the crowd celebrating, the first camera shot they got was of a lady who immediately put her phone away when Jey won. And she looked disappointed. I saw that, and I was like, oh. You could see the disappointment in the crowd. They wanted the crowd wanted Dragonuv, even though Jey was so over.
Cause everybody wanted to see Dragonuv versus fucking Gunther.
Yep. I wanted that rematch. That Ilya Gunther rematch would have been fucking amazing. But instead, we go to the same old tried and true. I get it. We're trying to actually make something of Jey's singles career. But Ilya versus Gunther would have been a much better next round. You're hyping it up to the point right now. You're making it look like Jey's going to come out of this the king of the fucking ring.
He might.
And I don't think he should.
I get it. So that match between Dragonuv and Gunther is a PLE match. Didn't need to be on Raw, whatever. At the same time, it's what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted that match because we knew how crazy that shit was gonna get. And they pulled the wool over our heads and they were like, you know what? We're gonna take this away from you, and you're gonna have to wait on this. And I get it. It's bullshit, but I get it. Exactly what,
as a matter of fact, 100% what G just said. I was going to say, let me spell it. Because what we always talk about, always talk about, Triple H has an opportunity to swerve everybody. He has an opportunity to do something here, and he never takes it. Now, he took it. This is a swerve. And a swerve doesn't mean that it has to be good right now. A swerve can mean that it's good down the road. And I'm telling you, it might happen at Clash at the Castle. It might happen at SummerSlam. It might happen at the PLE in between Clash of the Castle and SummerSlam. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Money in the Bank.
Bash at the Beach, or is that Bash in Berlin?
Is it Bash? Yeah, it must be. It's got to be Bash in Berlin. Because Bash in the Beach used to be in July, so it's got to be Bash in Berlin. So, either way, it's going... Gunther and Dragonuv will be done on a PLE. It's going to have a build, and it's going to be fantastic. And, yes, we all want to see it. But the thing is that Triple H and everyone in WWE knows that we do want to see it, and that is the entire point. They know we want to see it, and that's how they're going to keep us hooked. So what they're going to do is they're going to... Even though, like, Jey winning that clean is crazy. The H-bomb getting buried is crazy.
Bullshit.
But they're going to do the match later. And
it was crackhead versus crackhead, and the better crackhead won.
Yes. And Nathan, Dresh, you are right. They are... Stop. Dresh, you are right. They are building they're building Jey to be up something huge. They're building him up to be something incredibly huge, so they want him to have a higher fight power than Dragonuv.
Okay, cool. And you know what? I'm riding with you on this. I get this. Cool. When he gets his opportunity, there better not be no goddamn interference. I don't want to hear shit about Jey's 2 move. I don't want to see that shit. It better be the match of the fucking year. If they're building Jey up to this extent, it better be match of the fucking year. Because we wanted that Dragonuv versus Gunther match.
Right, who's watching fucking ESPN?
Shut up. You took the steam out of my sails, bitch. And they built this fucking Jey up, so there better not be no interference. There better not be no bullshit. That's all I'm saying. He better win a belt this year sometime, all right? Because if they're building him the way that they want him to, he should be up there with Cody, Roman, all of them. He needs to be main event Jey Uso, not little bro Jey Uso. You feel me?
I feel you.
I swear to Jeebus, that was fucking G telling Triple H, don't go down.
Basically, don't go there. Don't ruin this. You better put a belt on him. You took.
If you're gonna hype him this much, yes, you need to put a fucking belt on him. I agree.
Eventually, and again,
it needs to culminate in that.
Yeah, because every chance he's had, every main event he's been in, what's happened? Somebody interfered. Jimmy interfered. Finn interfered. Solo interfered. Somebody interfered. Stop doing that. All right. You're tired of the same shit. You know this. We get tired of the same shit. We get tired of Sami winning with the power of positivity. Nobody want to see that shit. Like, he's got the Hawk in him. Cody did that shit. I got immediately pissed off. I said, what? I said, what? What the fuck? Nah. yeah, that shit right there. I was like, what the fuck is that? Don't do that. No.
All right.
All I'm saying is, do better.
All right. You know what? I feel you on that. I feel both fans' perspectives. I really do. And look, the King of the Ring, the culmination of the King of the Ring tournament, I agree. It better be something crazy. It better be the match of the year. That's what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think Gunther's going to win. I don't think Jey's winning.
You know what? Again, Jey Uso fan. I hope Gunther does. I don't want Jey to win the tournament. I think he's got, from the bloodline shit, he's got all the hype he needs. Now he needs Triple H to continue the fucking tragedy of Darth Plagueis over here. You know, make the man make something of him. Or throw him to the fucking curb and move on.
Nah, Jey Uso need to win in my eyes. You take away with fucking Dragonuv Gunther match, he better win. He better win all the fucking way. He better go to WrestleMania this year. Take the belt off of Cody. To that extent.
It's going to be Jey Uso versus Nia Jax.
Oh. Damn. I mean, same concept, just different gender.
Yep.
So that was the end. That was the end of Raw. My friends, we have reached that time of the night where it is time to be done with the podcast. We appreciate you all being here for episode 30 and our first episode officially as affiliate. Thank you guys so much again for getting us there. You know, like our videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us here if you feel like you get good content from us, and whether you do or not, we will be here every Thursday, every Sunday, bringing you the good news and the good reviews. And if you want those things consistently, you're going to come here to It's All Work. Snap into a podcast.
We out, cut it, we out.
Hey everybody, it's me, your boy Big T. I just wanted to thank everybody for watching our videos and liking and sharing and commenting and subscribing and everything that y'all have done to make this community a bigger community. We here at It's All a Work really want to make the community a big community where everybody can just come in and express their views and talk about wrestling, because after all, wrestling is one of the great things, if you're like me, that helped you grow up to be the person that you wanted to be. Please, again, like, share, comment, subscribe, join the conversation. Thank you so much for everything that y'all do to help make It's All a Work a success, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you.